So imagine how good to your body and soul you're being with eating the right foods, staying away from chemicals, staying away from processed, walking, meditation. How good is that for you? Can you imagine after 3 weeks of that, if you are gonna go back to the beginning, you won't.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to podcast number 142 of the Gordon and Charisse Show. And we are going on with this exciting podcast series about the 21-day gut challenge with our favorite Costa Rican doctors, Dr. Eduardo, Dr. Marcia. You are still bright and beautiful even after working in your turmeric truck all day long, fresh pressing turmeric right here in Colorado Springs. Thank you for all of your work.
Thank you
in
for the
doing
invite.
that. And I am here with my beautiful, gorgeous silver fox, sometimes the golden spoon boy. That might be another nickname for you. This baby spoon, we're going to talk about why this spoon is relevant in a minute. This is your spoon, honey.
Oh, well, thank you so much, honey.
I'm going to pass the spoon to you for this episode because
This has significance.
I think it does.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later in the show, but this spoon has a lot of significance on how we eat, the portion sizes that we eat with.
Well, I have a feeling it's going small.
Yes, it is. Let's get started because on the last episode, we covered parts of the dietary changes one needs to make during the challenge.
Yes.
But I think what's more significant is to have a total idea of lifestyle habits, social habits, exercise habits, sleeping habits, because it all is part of the challenge and all a part of healthier living.
So you made a good point that we don't just stop.
Oh, time out. Is this recorded for the podcast?
I think
I
it
made a good
is.
point. Okay,
Oh, no.
go ahead.
Oh, great. We need a bigger spoon than the baby spoon at this point. But that point is that you don't change habits by stopping habits. You have to insert new habits.
Exactly.
So I think this is going to be the hopeful podcast edition where we can talk about all the good stuff that we can be doing. And don't worry, everybody, you don't have to memorize all of this if you're driving, listening to us on your Apple podcast in the car or however you're listening. You don't have to worry about memorizing everything because there will be a guide on our website, gordonandcharisse.com. And by the way, it's not too late to sign up for the challenge on our website. Go to it, sign up for it. But let's talk a little bit more about all of the good stuff.
That sounds great.
Go for it.
Well, let's just go over a quick summary of the last podcast. You mentioned 5 different things that we should do. So let's review those again.
First, cut on sugar. Second, cut on dairies. Third, cut on processed food.
Yes.
Fourth, cut on gluten.
Yes.
And fifth, it's cut on alcohol.
Correct.
For 21 days.
21
21
days.
We're not asking you to do this for the rest of your life, people. 21 days.
I do have a question on the alcohol. Okay, does that also include wine? Because a lot of people drink, for instance, in Europe, that's just part of their meals is drinking red wine.
As long as it's one glass, it's okay, because the wine has a lot of good properties too for your heart. So that's okay, but maybe after the 21 days.
There you go.
Right? So it's not bad that you have one glass of wine, just not during these 3 weeks.
Okay,
You got that?
I've got that. I don't drink a lot of wine anyway, so
You might start after the 21 days.
I might need to.
So what is your...
Jesus did take water into wine.
Yes,
so
he did.
yes, okay.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
So what's next, Gordon?
So what else should you do? What are, because it did sound like there's a lot of avoidance things, and we know when you're breaking an addiction, quote, quote, you really don't break one by avoidance. So what are some of the new things you can do with your entire lifestyle during this 21-day challenge?
Okay, so first, we need to incorporate many things on your diet. nutrient-dense food.
Okay.
So you feel strong, motivated, and healthy.
And also you feel easier and quicker when your food is full with nutrients. You need to eat less to get full, because you have what the body needs. When you're eating plain
Processed.
sugar, you keep eating because you're not giving the body what it needs.
It's empty.
So what I
Empty
liked,
food.
what I liked about our conversations, Dr. Eduardo, away from the camera, we were talking about the fact that it's a difference between dead food and food that's alive. And many people that are dealing with the gut issues and the bad bacteria have been eating dead food, not for a month
Years
or a year, decades.
It comes with the lifestyle, right? And also the industry of food, like Marcia mentioned before about drinking milk, for example. The industry made us believe that milk was good, so you get your calcium and then you get strong bones, and then nobody told us that there was just a strategy for the farmers to increase their sales. And then we believed that, and during my whole life, you gotta drink the milk for your bones. And it's all, you gotta be a little bit doubtful of everything.
Curious.
See, curious,
Research.
maybe just not believe everything they say.
And so when you start eating the things that are alive, the taste is different. And for a lot of people, they're going to say, I don't want to eat this gluten-free. It tastes like cardboard. Or I don't want to eat just vegetables or plant-based. It doesn't feel
It's
filling
a good
enough.
point. Instead of trying to find a substitute, gluten-free substitute, just don't eat it. Because by eating that substitute, they're adding a lot more chemicals
You're
into
right.
your food to create something that is not there, is not available. So if you're cutting your gluten, then just cut the gluten. Don't try to find a substitute in the supermarket.
I can attest to this, that finding those substitutes for me had created more weight gain, because there's just more you're piling into your body. And those substitutes often have a lot of sugar.
Yes.
So
So
It's
just,
going to be still processed food.
exactly, it's going to be processed food.
Even though it's vegan or gluten-free or sugar-free, they're all processed. They all contain preservatives and chemicals.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to quiz you with the questions, okay? I'm like an audience member who I just want to know more details.
But I know people feel maybe overwhelmed, and I think you have to go slow. You don't try to do it perfectly from one day to the other or to the next day. First, be conscious, like we said, and try your best. Maybe you don't cut 100% on your processed food, but you will cut 50.
And that's already a win.
I will avoid the cookies in the morning or the
Exacto.
cookies at night. I will choose a fruit for my snack.
And there's going to be a
Small
point when you
changes.
reach 100% just because you feel so good that you're like, okay, maybe
That's
I can try
good.
this a little more.
that's good.
So even during the 21-day challenge, people can do this?
I
or
mean-
should people try to go 100%?
I rather to have someone that goes to the 21 day and saying I cut on a 50% than someone try to do it perfectly the next day and they quit.
Exactly.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You're really kind, Marcia.
It's,
I saw the best results going step by step.
and
For
also
my
it's
own
not
and for-
so hard for you. You can go little by little because it's a process. It's a process.
It
It
is a
doesn't happen
process.
from night to morning. Like it's a process. But Marcia is right. If at the end of the challenge you cut 60% off of the bad food, you're a winner.
See,
Yeah. With the dead food, I've noticed this with me, and I had lost 75 pounds, and I've probably gained 8 pounds, and I know I've gained 8 pounds more that I'm going to lose, okay? But with the dead processed food, the body becomes more acidic and more dehydrated.
Mm-hmm.
So with the alive food, it's more alkalinic.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you need to be drinking more water,
Mm-hmm.
where it starts to work better and the digestion works. Is that correct? From what I'm understanding?
Correct. The same as if you mix your protein and your carbs. They don't need the same acid level in your stomach. So if you mix both, you have almost like neutral. You will not have the acidity correct to digest. So the best it's always to mix your protein with veggies and your carb with veggies, but not the carb and the protein together.
Okay, that's
for
a great
better,
rule.
For better digestion.
I want everyone to hear
That's
that. Go
huge.
ahead and repeat that because this is very important.
Yes. So in order to digest carbs, I need a pH básico,
A pH balance?
Like alkaline
Alkaline
pH.
Uh-huh.
And to process proteins, I need an acid pH. If in my plate I ate my protein and my carb together, I will have no acidity to digest. So it's better always to mix protein and veggies or carb and veggies.
So even the right foods but wrong combining
Yes.
can lead to a lot of gut issues.
Undigested
I'm
food.
gonna go back on the weight thing. Sometimes it's not about the weight, it's about the body composition. So maybe you gain 8 pounds, but it's not of fat. Maybe you gain 8 pounds of muscle because you've been playing pickleball constantly for months now.
He is the champion.
I have gained, but I could still lose a few pounds, Dr. DePardo.
It's not about losing pounds. It's about substituting body fat for muscle.
I love that.
Because you could be heavier.
You don't know how close we are as a friends right now, okay?
I think you just went one step closer right now.
Yes,
Give
absolutely.
him the golden spoon. That's pretty awesome.
And about exercising, now that I mentioned pickleball, I'm not going to send people to have a crazy program on the gym and quit the next week. No, exercising is about doing something periodically. So if you only walk 40 minutes, but you do it every other day you walk for 45 minutes, an hour, that's exercise. So you don't need to go crazy. It's just that you keep doing it. Every other day I go for my walk, that's exercise.
I have walked a lot. Okay, I walked on the treadmill a 5K 6 days a week for 16 straight years, and I did not miss 1 week. And here was the benefits that I received that I know people are going to receive. Number one, it's not just about having an aerobic activity. It's about having a rhythm and having those endorphins released in your brain that act as an analgesic to pain.
Exactly.
So I might go in feeling 90% pain that morning to do the treadmill, but after I was done with the adrenaline and endorphin release, I could reduce my pain by at least 10%.
That's a lot.
But the walking was also a time for me of contemplative meditation.
Exactly.
That's the other one.
Yeah.
You gotta have time to think, to make a
good.
pause.
Yeah.
You know, everything goes so quick, work, responsibilities. You gotta have a space just to, turn everything off and have 5 minutes just to clear your mind and see where you're at. How do I feel?
Well, you just said the benefit of clearing your mind, because we get in this loop with the analytical thinking where there's no answer sometimes. And that's 5% of our brain power. So that other 95%, where do we find it? We find it by clearing our mind. Then we have a brand new mindfulness to every part of our body so that we can understand what's being changed with this lifestyle.
So good.
Okay?
Yeah.
So imagine how good to your body and soul your being with eating the right foods, staying away from chemicals, staying away from process, walking, meditation. How good is that for you? Can you imagine after 3 weeks of that, if you are going to go back to the beginning? You won't.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't accomplish 100%, even if you accomplish 50, 60, if you can keep that 60, you already won.
I think very good point you've made, and I think we should hear it again. I want to hear it again. It's not about doing it strong out of the gate and failing. It's about doing something that you can sustain.
Exactly.
That you can sustain for your life, and it becomes a new habit instead of living in the old. We're designed for new. We're designed, I mean, you know this more than I do as a doctor, all of you. The counsel that I have at this table is remarkable. How the blood cells, how the cells change, how our bodies readapt, how our bodies are designed to heal. But so many times we don't give it the space until we're intentional.
See, actually, our body, it's so perfect. It has the capacity to restore and heal by itself. It's just that we don't give the time. We are sometimes so hard on ourselves. Bad food, only working, you don't take time for you, for your family, for whatever. And if we just give the right time, the body, it's amazing.
For me, it's also something that's spiritual. Because in Scripture, in Romans chapter 12, it talks about one of the things that we can do for God is to worship Him with our entire bodies. And the definition of that is mind, emotions, will, and physical parts. So the complete wholeness of who we are. And this is what we're talking about today. We're trying to teach people, here are the small steps to start with that you're going to see gigantic results if you continue with discipline and perseverance, get through a few withdrawals, eat foods that you're not used to eating, start exercising a little bit, and move forward.
So that's a good point, and I'm going to put it on a easiest way to understand. You got to let your body time to heal itself. Let's see, if you're constantly eating bad food and chemicals and all the stuff that makes you gut react, and you're not giving the time to your body to clean itself, because the next morning you're already adding more to it. So you are constantly putting stuff in your body and not giving the body the time to heal itself. That's when the intermittent fasting comes handy.
So good.
Why? Because you're going to give it a few more hours for your body to repair.
So what does intermittent fasting look like to you?
It's in between 12 to 16 hours with no solid food.
Okay.
So, for example, if your last meal was at 7 a.m., for intermittent fasting, you will have to be having your first meal next day around 10, 12.
So
10 in the morning.
Yeah, from 7 p.m., not in the morning. From
Yeah, 7 p.m.
at
dinner,
night, that's your
night.
dinner. Then you don't eat anything else until next morning around 10 or 12. So that gave your body over 14 hours to heal. As simple as that.
See, if your gut is inflamed and you stop eating, then your body, it takes all the energy to repair.
That makes so much sense.
And then imagine this. You gave it 14 hours straight, and then what you get first is organic, is
Healthy.
It's healthy, it's not
alive.
It's
processed.
nutrient-dense.
It's vegetable, so your digestion is going to go so much quicker, and it's not going to have to lose time dealing with carcinogenics.
That makes
But
sense.
if your breakfast is bacon, you're putting your gut to work even harder. And I'm not saying bacon is bad. Bacon, you can eat bacon. But if you put everything together and you add the sugars, you add the alcohol, you add the processed food, and then you get the bacon, you're not giving any time to your guts to repair.
And what I'm hearing you say is, and then you give it no time ever to heal. You're just stacking
inflammation,
on.
inflammation,
Second,
inflammation on
second.
top of
Yeah.
inflammation on top of inflammation. That's going
Wow.
to end up in cancer
But or anything,
or
because
any
anything.
disease.
because so many people say, I just am tired. I'm healthy, but I'm tired.
What we're doing in this conversation is we're sharing our secret sauces right now
It is
of healthier living.
so
See.
important.
I know another one to add to this morning routine. People say if you drink 2 glasses of water before you eat.
Add some lime to it and chia seeds.
Okay, so let's say it again.
sauce is growing.
Lime, so lime.
So lime is going to make your alkalinize your body.
Okay.
Even if it's acidic,
Yeah.
it's going to work the other way around.
That's good.
So just by starting your day with a glass of water with lime
lime.
and chia seeds,
Chia seeds.
See, it's the best way because there's minerals. So your water hydrating your body, lime to alkalinize your body, and then chia seeds to give the minerals.
And this helps you to digest your foods better throughout the whole day.
then
That's the
when you
purpose.
have your breakfast, you're
Yeah.
ready for it.
But what I wanted to say,
Yes, ma'am.
Gordon, is that the chia seeds, you gave a secret about the chia seeds and how they're supposed to be processed in the water. So what do you do with the chia seeds?
The chia seed it's a Peruvian seed, comes from Peru, and it was called well, in Spanish it's
Just say it in Spanish.
It's como la semilla de la fuerza.
It's like the strength seed. Like it makes
Strength.
you strong.
The
Fuerte.
See,
exactly.
they ate it before any battle
Oh.
because they give that the chia gave them energy and power. They felt
So
strong.
good. But and to get the power out of the seed, what do you do when you put it in
you
the water?
take the raw chia and you just pour it on water
And
and,
do
you
you-
wait 5 minutes
There you go.
to make the chia seed active.
Wait 5 minutes.
Yes.
And is the water warm or cold?
Just warm temperature.
Like
room
room
temperature.
temperature. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so now that our digestive system is revved up to handle the food sources we put into our mouth. Okay, and then the ptyalin breaks down the substances into smaller parts as it moves into the stomach and the intestine and all these good things. What type of food should we start with, and what portion sizes should we use or utilize when we eat?
It's really important first in the morning when you wake up, have an intention for your day. You take you have your intention, you have your glass of water with your minerals, and the best way to break or the first food to I would say breaking your intermittent fasting if you're doing intermittent fasting, it will be an easy digest food. Fruits, it's a great option to start your day. Any green smoothie made with a lot of vegetables like leafy greens. Or if you're really hungry, you can have, for example, eggs. Omelette, eggs with
there is a
veggies.
lot of controversy about eggs, I know, but they're not related to high cholesterol itself. It's the way you cook it. If you cook your eggs with a lot of oil, palm oil, yes, your cholesterol is going to go off the roof. But if you're not using any of this, eggs itself won't get your cholesterol high. I myself eat about 6 eggs a day.
Wow.
What?
You do?
Oh yeah.
Okay, this is
And
another secret.
And my cholesterol is lower than the.
So how do you
the
cook
margins.
your egg? Everybody wants to know. What do you do?
How do I cook my egg?
How does Marcia cook your egg? Marcia.
We do it en la plancha. ¿Cómo se dice en la plancha?
It's like a grill, but
A
not
skillet?
a grill. It's just a flat iron cast,
Yeah.
A little bit of olive oil and not much added. Salt is okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we add mushrooms, spinach,
Do you
onions.
scramble it and make it like
sometimes
an
a
omelet?
scramble, sometimes
Yeah, that's
omelette,
okay.
and a lot of
And
boiled
also
eggs.
we start our days with corn.
Corn.
Tortillas.
Oh,
So that's part of the blue zone. Corn is present in most of the blue zones.
the right corn, though, because sometimes in America it's harder to get the
Find a
quality.
corn that is not processed. You know,
Yes.
you gotta read the label and see that the first ingredient is corn.
But it's a remedy to longevity, isn't
Oh
it?
yeah. Even corn can be used as if you have cravings and you need to eat something, and you usually eat candy or stuff that is not so good for you. Popcorn, just plain popcorn.
Not movie popcorn.
No, not movie popcorn.
Homemade
Plain popcorn,
popcorn.
a little salt, and that's your snack to go if you're feeling cravings.
I am literally hungry right
during
now.
this challenge, just use the popcorn as how do you say it? As
to satisfy a
snack.
craving.
See,
Like,
snack or craving.
See, Shreese, this is how we're made differently, honey, is that you're hungry right now.
I'm literally hungry.
Okay. But I'm listening to our guests and I'm thinking we need to do a refrigerator purge. And I think a lot of people are in that place where they've got so much food in their refrigerator, they're going to eat it all, just to eat it all. And but they're still going to purchase more, and they're going to keep eating and keep eating and keep eating the wrong foods
And the
before they
wrong-
can ever start a challenge.
And what about portions, Gordon? Can
Portions.
You,
That's I didn't mention that. So Marcia always says you have to eat 80% of your capacity. So you're
Don't get
never full.
If you start feeling that your stomach is full, it was already too much.
wow.
Can I tell you a secret that I utilized?
Will you pull out the spoon while you do?
I used, instead of large dinner plates, I would eat
Small.
off of small plates. And then I would eat with the baby fork.
The
It-
gold
or a
one?
baby spoon.
baby
Or
one.
the baby
Just
spoon.
something, I would eat with something smaller. This is a little too small. There's
So it would
lots of
take 2
jokes.
hours for him to finish dinner.
But it gave me more time to chew my
Sure.
food.
Which is also something else.
Okay.
Chewing your food breaks it down, and you combine the food with your saliva, and that's where your digestion starts.
Right.
It doesn't
In your
start
mouth.
in your stomach. It starts in your mouth.
Marcia,
So you gotta take time to chew your food.
I have noticed when I'm with you that I have had to slow my eating down because I watch you and you're so graceful and you just and I know how hungry you are when you come, like even off of a flight to get here,
Yes,
and you're
yes,
hungry.
yes.
And what do? You're so slow and graceful and intentional about
There's a
how
technique.
you eat.
There's a technique. Well, I try to show to people. Once you have a bite, you're chewing, don't prepare your next bite. Just wait, chew. And once you swallow, then you prepare your next one.
So you put the fork down.
Yes. You can talk or you can just
And then you're
listen
gonna
or
get fuller
faster.
faster.
We have to give the time to the gut, send the message to the brain, I'm getting full.
And the gut has a brain.
See?
Yes.
It's the biggest. Most of the neurons are in the gut.
Is
Isn't that
why,
amazing?
That's
It
why
is.
we're doing the 21-day gut challenge.
Exactly.
Right?
So the gut,
And
it's
the
a,
immune system is in your gut.
the gut, it has so many functions in your body, more than just nutrient absorption and digestion. It has the immune system, nervous systems or emotions are attached
Even
to our gut.
emotions,
Right.
even emotions are attached to our gut.
Absolutely.
So the wrong bacteria would create depression.
Right.
And that's when people, I don't know what's happening. I feel sad. I feel like something bad happened to me, and nothing happened. Well, it's the bad bacteria in your gut.
And their feeling is real.
Oh yeah,
But there's a
it
remedy.
is the reason.
Well, and yes.
No, and
I-
there's something really important that normally when you eat, that's why you shouldn't have a discussion or a fight or something emotional.
At the
because
same time.
At the same time, it should be a moment, peaceful moment
To eat.
For digestion.
Wow. So don't use food as comfort while you're crying.
No.
Okay, can I share one of doctors? Can I share one of my secret things to portions? Was to eat based on fist size. So if I had meat of any sort, it was the size of my fist, which It's supposed to be about 4 ounces. Don't go out and eat the 12-ounce steak.
Exactly.
Okay, if you're going to enjoy some red meat once in a blue moon or once a week or twice a month, 4 ounces makes a huge difference. And make sure that it's farm fed. Make sure that you don't have all of the different processes and fatty tissue and
Grass-fed,
hormones,
yes.
right, that are in, for instance, red meat or a steak. Okay, and the same thing with vegetables. But I have found this with plant-based from... You're actually hungry and you can actually eat a little bit more with plant-based.
Yeah.
Because you're going to process it faster.
Right.
So imagine if you're eating meat every day. It's going to take about three days to get rid of the meat. And if you add meat the next day and the next day, then you always be processing meat. And the intestines are not sealed. They're permeable. So the rotten meat on your intestine is constantly sending toxins to your bloodstream. So having a diet where meat is present every day is not good for you.
That makes more sense, I think, the way that you explain that than I've
You're
ever
going to
heard.
have to get rid of it and be ready for your next meat.
There's a central theme I'm hearing as this discussion is threaded, and it's the word time. I keep hearing time, like giving your body time.
It's not a machine.
There's a kindness by giving it time. And it's not about taking everything away and starving yourself and going on some weird, radical, extreme thing.
It's not about radical diets. It's about getting something but keeping it.
Yeah.
Intentionality.
And I find too, it's fascinating because your position and job, your career as a surgeon, you're working with people in the realm of so many things, including beauty. But do you find that people who have adapted this lifestyle, does it affect the beauty?
Of course, because it affects their skin, affects their hair, nails. The aging process slows down. If your body is constantly fighting carcinogenics, you're going to age quicker than if you're eating the right things.
So if you take a scalpel and try to fix all of the outside, surgically repairing it.
Always it's together with lifestyle.
Right.
Always.
Yeah.
During the challenge, I think it's important not to put all your mind on the food, but to take these 21 days, to actually think about the whole you. Exercise.
I love that.
Like
drinking enough water. Meditation. And meditation, it doesn't have to be staying 2 hours in this position. No. Meditation, it can be just while I'm showering.
I love when I'm showering.
I'm just going to take time
water.
to shut off and think of me. Something as easy as that.
And for me, my meditative time
Journaling.
is I journal and I pray. I write, and I'm in a moment with God that is serenity. I can't start my day without that.
Your writing is beautiful, and I can't wait for the people to read all your materials. Okay,
Thank you, honey.
let's talk about sleep, and we're going to finish
Very
this
important.
podcast with sleep because that has been very difficult for me over the last 30 years.
So sleeping time is when your body fixes itself. Is when your body produces hormones. Is when your body finds out the cells that shouldn't be there and kills them. It's when you're sleeping that your body is actually getting fixed. So if you're not sleeping enough hours, then you're gonna have half of the job done. You know, and instead of 8 hours, I slept 4. Well, the hormones start to work after 4 a.m. Then your testosterone starts working about 4 a.m. So if you're not sleeping then enough time, you don't have the capability of building hormones. So your testosterone will go low.
Wow.
Right. I know a lot of people in chronic pain, and I saw this in my practice. Interrupted sleep patterns were very common. And I've experienced that for 30 years, and I've tried almost every method. I know Shreese, just recently, I've got the Aura ring as well that gives us all our...
Wait, where is it?
It's not on, love. I've got my wedding ring on, okay? I don't have the Aura ring on, but I was averaging 4.13 hours per evening for a month.
And then you took it off.
Yeah, I don't want to look at those numbers, but it's something that I go through neurologically. But I know for me on recuperation, a lot of times it's prayer in the morning, it's study of scripture, it's recalibrating, it's being inspired by truth. That gets me invigorated for the day, and so I'm intentional with my day. What are the few projects I have to get done? But I also take naps.
Exactly.
That's good too.
So if my day starts at 4 or 4:30, okay, many times, except when we're visiting with you all, many times I will lay down at 12:30 and wake up at 1:15. And that 45 minutes gives me the energy
To keep
to
going.
make it through the early evening.
You're completely different after that now.
I am
Oh, yeah.
because I can do projects. So I look at my day differently. I don't look at it as a 9 to 5 rigorous schedule where I'm beating myself up. I look at it as, okay, what can I accomplish in the morning? What can I accomplish in the evening? And how can I accomplish it with excellence? Being single focused. And I find that my body then goes, okay, every part of me goes, the way my appetite comes up, the way my focus is there, the way my energy is there, I can actually do a better job in my purpose with life than feeling scattered and multitasked.
Exactly.
Okay, because when the fatigue sets in, I can't have 10 things going at once. I don't get anything done. It
Well,
has to be
Gordon,
one or two things.
It goes back to being kind to yourself.
Absolutely.
And it goes back to time, giving your body time to restore.
Sometimes that's the hardest part. Giving yourself time. Sometimes we're so caught up with the
Work and daily stuff.
And
what
the pain.
social
Pressures.
pressures.
The agendas.
You know
the
that
schedule.
in Spain, they have, I think it's 2 or 3 hours for lunch.
That's in Argentina,
In Spain
where
also.
I went to school.
Wow.
Then napping is a thing.
It's
Like,
real.
Oh yeah, like business will close from 1 to
Sí.
4, so people can nap.
And is there a greater
And
happiness
that's
factor?
in Buenos Aires, a big city, and business will close from 1 to 3, 1 to 4, so people nap, and then
Wow.
they open back at 4. When I was there, I was like, why is everything closed?
How happy are people though when
They
have
are
that?
very happy in the sense of family and friends, and that's very important for them. Family and friends comes first always.
Yeah.
And that feeling of being close to your family, it's also present in all the blue zones.
Yeah.
All of the blue zones share that, the feeling of belonging to a group of people,
Community.
And
community and
feel
love.
supported.
Well, that's the
Uh-huh.
last part I wanted to cover on the podcast. When they're doing the 21-day challenge, it's not about having tight fists and gutting through something by yourself. Being alone also changes your hormones and your gut response differently. It's about being in some type of community. And that's
Help each other,
Go ahead.
Yeah, help each other. If you do it as a group, it's way easier than trying to struggle yourself. It's
100%.
100% true.
That's why we have the Better Living community.
Exactly. I wanted to bring that up.
It's so much about that because we are realizing that we heal in community. We learn just in this podcast. I'm learning from each of your experiences. Putting it all together, there really is gold here. More than a golden spoon.
And here's what I'm getting from the background from all of our camera guys. They're doing this, and I don't know if that means cut my head off, okay? But we are out of time.
Okay.
I can't believe it, okay?
Okay, but we
So much to
can't
talk.
we can't stop this without encouraging. If you haven't signed up for the 21-day challenge, sign up.
And share.
please share it. Share it with your friends. You get an opportunity to also be in a drawing to have a Costa Rica experience that is going to be amazing, amazing in 2024. But beyond that, let's make your gut amazing. Let us all heal our guts together. Let's be a part of this challenge. So go to GordonandCherice.com, subscribe, and let's do this together. Let's heal for 2024. Let's make this a year of a year of healing, a year of transformation, a year of hope.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you on another podcast. Thank you.